So it's the mailbag, and our first one is an email from a listener who was worried about what his symbol meant on his car, which was that one. It followed our quiz from last week. I think his name was Steve. I can't remember, but if it was you, thank you for messaging in.
It's definitely not that way up, Steve. Don't worry, that looks a bit like Ringo Starr.
Oh, it does, yeah.
Hello, I could do the voiceover for a children's train show. It'd be great.
I think that's brilliant. It was part of one of the biggest bands of in the world, and everyone knows him as Thomas Tank Engine's voice.
No, they let me sing one of the songs. They let me sing. Yes, they said, Ringo, your voice needs this song, and I thought that's great. Thank you, Paul and George. There you go. Sorry.
So basically, he said he changed his tyre, and he still had the warning light that came up. And I think because I know from my own car that's got these stupid tyre things, that you need to reset the symbol once it's done. Once you change it. So just by changing the wheel isn't going to actually solve that light getting rid of.
So it'll be switching the ignition on, pressing and holding something. I have to do this with my Honda Accord because every 10 minutes the good people at Honda want me to go and have a service, and I'm like, no, it's going to happen once a year. So I have to hold something else, wait, and then that gets rid of the service warning light. I did not know this applied to almost every single thing on your dash.
Yeah, pretty much so. I think in my Mini, you have to go through one of the menus and then just hold the button down that's on the indicator stalk.
Right.
That then just resets the thing. That's the way to get rid of it.
Now, the other thing you could do is get yourself a very cheap, they're about £14, maybe even less now. Last time I bought one was about 10 years ago. Just a diagnostic tool that plugs into the SCART socket in your car. You plug that in, you just do diagnostic, and you can just switch everything off.
I think they're called OBD readers.
That's it, OBD readers. And so
not ODB, which is something else.
Orchestral Maneuvers in the Dark. Wasn't ODB one of the members of Wu-Tang Clan?
Yes.
He was. I plug ODB, old dirty bastard, into the front of your car. There's nothing wrong with his car, motherfucker. And he will sort that out. The other thing, the problem with these tyre gauge things. Now, on mine used to pop on all the time on my BMW M3, and most of the time it was like I'd gone over a stone. Oh, tyre pressure gauge. Then when the tyre did go completely flat and it looked like the back of the car was pooing out rubber all over the road, it didn't actually tell me that was a major problem. It didn't go off. My uncle's got an aging Ford Galaxy. The tyre pressure sensors are rusted out. It's a bad problem with Ford. They are on permanently, and he has to get his meter and just turn them off. There's nothing you can do apart from replace the sensors. Of course, he's not going to do that on a 16-year-old car. What I would do, I'd take this with a pinch of salt, like any warning light. You can, for about £2, you can buy yourself a proper tyre pressure gauge, put that on the tyre. If that's reading fine when the tyre is cold, not when the tyre is hot, do it again a couple of hours later. If the reading is the same, there's not a problem with your tyres. If you want to find out what they should be running at, open the door. On the inside of the door should be a card in the door jamb, and it'll tell you what your correct pressure is. Don't trust the gauges at the garages.
Yeah. The other thing also, if you've got a warning light that's on your dashboard before your MOT, it will fail as well.
Oh, that's worth knowing next time I take my training. So thank you very much for that. That was that was Steve. Thank you, Steve. Thank you. Moving swiftly on. Oswald in Moseley. I see what you were doing.
Hold on a minute. Yeah.
As he wear a lot of black shirts and he's got an armband with a cross on, bent at the ends. He says, "Hello from Birmingham, Car-Boyz. I hope you're all right. We've got this dreadful ULIS charge coming into central Birmingham. I am worried, but my car won't pass. I don't go into the centre very often, but I don't fancy paying £8 a time for the privilege. How do I check my car? If it's a newer car, you should be okay, even if it's a diesel. So post 2015. Anything over a couple of years old, you need to check. So go to www.gov.uk/check clean air air zone charge. Hang on, why don't I just do that? There you go. That's the one you want to go to.
Gov.uk check clean air zone charge with dashes in between.
Now, so I checked my wife's Honda, 2004. I can drive that into central London. My dad's got a 2003 Honda Coupe from America. You can't. Oswald drives a Volvo. This is a picture of his car.
Yes.
I'm slightly worried about this damp. I'm hoping that's just a bit of old concrete and not something leaking out of his
It's
body.
not the radiator that's just
No,
burst.
just cracked out. He drives a Volvo 260, 2-litre auto, 2003. We checked. You can't drive this into the centre of Birmingham, Oswald. So for any sort of rallies that you might be going to, so you can't drive that into without meeting up outside in a car park and B&Q. So you can't drive that without paying. But weirdly, he can drive into the ULEZ zone in the centre of Bath. Now, this is my advice. The ULEZ zone in London is quite big. The one in Bath is small. Bristol's quite big. The one in Birmingham is small. So why not just avoid driving into it and let all those shops in the centre of Birmingham go bankrupt? COVID, there's nothing to do anyway in the centre of town. Go and get the bus. The other thing you can do, and my mate did this, is you can, which I'll explain later in the next question, is you can actually go and get submit your NOx readings to Birmingham Council, and if they agree that it's not too heavy, it's going to cost you. It's going to cost you a couple of £100 to do that. They will let your car go in and out. But honestly, the centre of Birmingham one is so tiny that. I'm a bit like at the stage now. We've had all these problems. Every city in England is trying to ban cars. There's no cars going in because nobody's doing anything because of COVID. I'm like, yeah, all right, screw you, council. Sod your shops. I'll buy everything off Amazon and I just won't go out of my house.
Yeah.
But people are trying to go out and trying to have a life. So you can't use that. But if you want to go out to Bath for a weekend, you can. Doesn't make any sense.
Staying with ULEZ problems, we're in London and we have Charles. He says, "Hi, Car-Boyz. I'm a petrol head. I love my cars, but I'm getting stung by the ULEZ thing that comes into force in June. I live in Wandsworth, I know it well, right on the edge of the ULEZ clean air zone, and my girlfriend lives in Fulham." Nice. I drive a 1999 BMW 3 Series Coupe,
nice.
Which I know isn't compliant. I'm thinking of buying a cheap new car. I have seen a Dacia or Dacia Duster 1 litre, which should be priced at £13,500 for a mere £10,000. What shall I do? Oh. Duster or girlfriend? Duster or girlfriend?
Firstly, I'd get a new girlfriend in Wandsworth and chuck the one in Fulham, or tell her to catch a cab. That is a good deal, though. If you think about this is supposed to be £13,500. They put a turbo on it. It is a new car. So as much as I hate the Duster, it is a new car. It's got a 1 litre engine, so 0 to 60 is quite fast. It's ULEZ compliant. It's 10 grand, but you're going to lose £1,000 a year at least on depreciation.
Yeah.
So in 3 years' time, this will be worth probably 6.5. It's not a bad little car. You could always keep the Beamer for the weekends, or you could always go online, maybe buy a couple of Spanish plates. Get busy with some electrical tape on your actual registration number. I'm not suggesting anything illegal.
No. It's just,
the other option is submit your NOx readings to Transport for London. It's going to cost you £200. They will give you special permission to drive this car if the NOx levels are low. The problem being is they won't extend that to all cars of this make and model, which is strange. So you have to prove that your car doesn't emit too many noxious gases, and then you're going to be allowed to get through. I
kind of get that. So two things with that. One, obviously on how well you maintain your car. So if it's had an oil change or that sort of stuff. But the other thing is, it's like, well, if in your MOT in this country you get all these readouts of when they test the emissions and all that, could you submit that?
I would assume that would be a fair thing for you to submit. Surely a recent MOT with NOx levels on, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
I think that's what they want to see. They don't want an MOT that's 6 months old. They want, if you went and got your car MOT'd, but I think you just need to go get the NOx levels done.
Yeah.
And then they will say, this is the emissions. They fall below X, Y, and Z. It's in this group. But it's weird that my father has, I think, the same engine that's in my wife's car. In fact, I know it's the same engine. I know it's the same engine because it's the VTEC. It's the VTEC No, I tell a lie. His is reboard. His is 1.7. Hers is 1.6.
Oh,
But it's
nice.
why is
But even so, yeah.
it's the same car? One's made in America. I don't know. There you go. Anyway, sorry about that. Yeah, maybe just bite the bullet and London is increasingly becoming a non-car town. Finally, we've got Trudy in New Hampshire. Hello, Trudy. She says, hi, boys from the Granite State. She wants to buy a truck that is as hard as granite for a family member. Let me just release from jail. Her sister lives in Texas and has been snowed in, as my friend in San Antonio has been snowed in. She's trying to advise her on a car to buy to ensure she can always escape the Lone Star State. Does she go for A, very cool and gangster-looking Chevy Suburban, or B, I love it with the look at that on the bonnet,
the periscope, thingy-mabobs,
air pipe thing. Yep.
Yeah.
She's got $2,000 to spend. Does she go for the periscope Toyota, which looks like it could go through about 15 feet, or does she go for the very cool looks like I'm escorting President who is it now?
That's huge.
Yeah. She's got $20,000. Now I would personally, in these uncertain times, go for this car every single time. The Toyota, every single time the Land Cruiser. There's a reason why the United Nations use Land Cruisers as their vehicle of choice. They're built to last. The Chevy looks very cool. But at the end of the world, which is what it sounds like is going on in Texas at the moment, this is the bug-out vehicle that you need that's going to work even when the world ends. And it is bad in Texas. They are, for an oil state, I mean, they produce some of the most oil in the world. They've got no electricity down there.
Interesting to see how those Teslas are doing in that area.
The Teslas that are doing in the area, the wind turbines in the area have stopped working because they're frozen up. They're having rolling blackouts, and it's like this is what's going to happen if everybody drives an electric car, because the amount of juice we will need far exceeds those little thin cables that transport electricity to us. Somebody said actually something, and it wasn't another podcast, that to run a Tesla, to charge a Tesla, is the equivalent of running 6 industrial space heaters. The big space heaters that you use for garages and workshops. 6 of those is like trying to charge a car. I'm like, where's all this electricity coming from? So, yes, Trudy in New Hampshire, we'd go for that boy. I do like that. I caught one of these going to JFK a few years ago, and I was like, really? Look at me, I'm in the presidential vehicle. Yeah, it felt very cool. There's not much room when you get inside, but the reliability, I'd get the diesel.
Go for that one.
Yeah.
It looks like it can go through snow and anything that the weather.
Oh yeah, they definitely can. Snow, mud. You want to get your letters to the mailbag. It's all the usual things, and I believe it's quiz time.
It is quiz time.